Hello everyone, thank you for taking the time to watch this presentation of my quality improvement project aimed to enhance the student athlete's return to learn following a sports-related concussion on a college campus. Before I begin, I want to thank Dr. McLeod for her guidance, continued encouragement, and support this past year. Initially, I reviewed the current literature related to return to learn to determine if a problem existed. In 2017, the CDC reported of sports-related concussion incidents was 2.5 million each year. Although sports-related concussion management has significantly improved, return to learn is a relatively new piece to the concussion management plan. Since 2004, the majority of focus has been on recognition, assessment, and return to play. But in 2016, Return to Learn received its first formal recognition in the Berlin Consensus Statement. Evidence has found that greater outcomes occur when there is a brief period of rest during the acute phase after injury, followed by gradual and progressive return to physical and cognitive activity. Through the literature review, it was clear that Return to Learn was lagging at the collegiate level. There have been a number of survey-based studies published that assess concussion assessment and management that has helped improve awareness and recognition of return to learn. A study by Mihalik et al. Found that only 63% of institutions had a return to learn policy. Similarly, another study by Kerr et al. Reported that 1/3 of responding universities lacked return to learn protocols, and of those, only 3% involved academic services in their concussion management plan. Further, Buckley et al. Assessed compliance with concussion management plans in NCAA Power 5 conference schools and found the lowest compliance with the Return to Learn policy. These NCAA studies show a gap in Return to Learn policies at a significant number of collegiate institutions. When looking for information on various stakeholders, understanding about concussion and return to learn, all of them assess the secondary school age return to learn. Studies assess family residents, athletic trainers, school nurses, and teachers. There has been no study to date that has assessed university faculty knowledge, attitude, and beliefs about academic adjustments for students with concussion. In a collegiate setting, team physicians, athletic trainers, and the faculty play a key role in a student athlete's recovery from a concussion. Welch, Bacon et al. And Buckley et al. Assessed athletic trainers and physician knowledge on academic adjustments. Both of these studies claimed athletic trainers and team physicians are the cornerstone of concussion recognition, diagnosis, and management. However, athletic training education and medical education curriculums do not have educational competencies or milestones that teach about academic adjustments or return to learn. This may provide an explanation for a lag in return to learn implementation. I have worked at Limestone College for 16 years as an athletic trainer and educator for the undergraduate athletic training program. Limestone is a private liberal arts institution in South Carolina that has an undergraduate enrollment of 2,595 students and approximately 850 student athletes that sponsors intercollegiate athletics at the NCAA Division II level. Student athletes can take courses in the traditional day program as well as our online program. The background that defined this project for me was that concussions can affect learning outcomes and potential symptoms beyond sports. During the 2017-18 academic year, there were 36 sports-related concussions reported to the athletic training staff. 33% of those student athletes became ineligible for their respected sports during the recovery semester, and 72% had a decrease in grade point average from the fall 2017 to the spring 2018 semester. 16% of students were placed on academic suspension and withdrew from the institution. During the year, no faculty reached out to the athletic training staff concerning the students' concussion or classroom needs. In addition, when I was reviewing the Limestone College policy for concussion management, Return to Learn was not included in the policy. A cause and effect diagram was developed to determine problems that occur when a student athlete returns to the classroom. Because there was no return to learn policy, there was also no academic adjustment plan for students when returning to the classroom. Therefore, I felt it was important to look at the resources that are available at the institution for student athletes. 4 categories were developed. The first category was listed people. I found that there were several different groups that work independently on campus. The athletic trainers spend the most time with the student athletes, but they rarely communicate with the academic side. The school nurse and the school counselor work under the student health services. Disability services and student success are another addition that are located in a separate building on campus from each of the other 2. Each of these groups rarely communicates between each other throughout the year. The next category was methods. I discovered that there was very little concussion education. The athletic trainers met with each of their teams at the beginning of the year and talked about concussions. Student athletes were provided the NCAA concussion fact sheet, but no other groups on campus were receiving information or education on concussion. When looking at resources, I started by looking at the athletic trainers' workday. They work every day of the week, and students have the most contact with them. There are only 7 athletic trainers to spread across 850 student athletes, and many of the injuries that occur happen outside of a normal workday, and with limited number of athletic trainers, communication with other staff and faculty members on campus rarely occurs. The last category is policies. There was no return to learn policy in the athletic training policy and procedure manual. There was also no institutional policy in the Gaslight Handbook for injuries or illness and missed class time, for disability services, or for the entire institution. So following the cause and effect diagram, it was important to look at how communication occurs at the institution. A flow sheet provides additional evidence that there was an institutional breakdown in communication. When a student athlete suffers a concussion, the head athletic trainer is supposed to notify the academic dean. It has always been the dean who emails the faculty to let them know a student has a concussion. But if the head athletic trainer doesn't get notification from his staff, then an email never gets sent. And there were also times last year when the dean's office got behind and didn't notify the faculty for several days, or sometimes omitted to email the faculty at all. And this has led to confusion and faculty-student frustration. The aim of this quality improvement project focused on improving student athletes' return to learn following a sports-related concussion by assessing the faculty's knowledge, attitude, and beliefs about academic adjustments following a concussion. My first PDSA cycle began with the development of the baseline survey to assess faculty's self-perceived knowledge, attitude, and belief about academic adjustments. Initially, I assessed the Limestone College faculty through a survey. Originally developed for the pediatric patient, the survey was modified for the collegiate setting. Written permission was given from Dr. Bacon and Dr. McLeod, the original authors of the survey. The survey was created using Qualtrics online survey software and was available to the faculty for 19 days from April 23rd to May 9th, 2018. At the time of the survey, concussion management team was also formed to help improve communication on campus when an injury or illness occurred. The concussion management team was approved through the Faculty Athletics Committee for Intercollegiate Athletics, also known as FACIA. My position as the faculty athletic representative and the chair of the committee, as well as an athletic trainer at the institution, strategically placed me as the point person for the concussion management team. As FAR, I report directly to the president of the college, and I am also responsible for reporting monthly to both the faculty and the athletic department. As an athletic trainer, I also work directly with and under the direction of the team physician and with other athletic trainers at the institution. The members of the concussion management team include myself, the FAR, the institutional medical director, the 7 athletic trainers, a school nurse, the school counselor, and disability services. A total of 52 individuals completed the entire survey for a 33% response rate. 42 faculty members reported the division that they were representing. 18 were from arts and letters, 11 were for social behavior sciences, 10 from natural sciences, and 4 from education in the physical education division. It was clear by the initial assessment that faculty knowledge on concussion, academic adjustment, and communication among faculty and staff is limited. Most faculty recognize that a concussion is serious. However, they lack the knowledge about the importance of cognitive rest following a concussion. They also had limited knowledge about academic adjustments and reported their hesitation in providing assistance for the students. Symptoms assessed during the baseline survey revealed that faculty do not recognize all of the symptoms of concussion. As you can see in the figure, faculty's lowest scores were recognizing behavioral and emotional symptoms following a concussion. Symptoms of irritability, being more emotional, sadness, or nervousness and anxiety were recognized as symptoms of concussion 40% or less of the time. The majority of faculty recognized physical symptoms of concussion at least 80% of the time. 88% of faculty recognize that the brain is injured with a concussion. About 2/3 of faculty recognize that returning to sport too soon after injury could increase the likelihood of getting another concussion. 86% of faculty recognize that concussion could cause further brain damage. 68% of faculty recognize that concussion can increase difficulty in school and emotional problems. But only 54% of faculty recognize that returning to sport too early after a concussion could display changes in a student's social life. This information further indicates that faculty's limited knowledge of emotional and behavioral concussion symptoms. The two figures in this slide assess faculty knowledge and confidence in knowledge about concussion. Most faculty felt it was extremely important 85% of the time, or moderately important 14% of the time, to limit physical activity while symptoms are present. Interestingly, faculty felt it was less important to limit cognitive activity immediately following a concussion, as 46% felt it was extremely important, while 44% felt it was moderately important. More faculty responded to having minimal confidence or not confident at all, knowing what academic adjustments are available at the institution for students. Faculty were assessed on their knowledge of the institution. The faculty were asked to select from a list of individuals who they believed are a part of the academic team. There was a wide range of selections for this questions that indicate most faculty are unaware of the individuals that make up the academic team. Only 33% of participants recognized that the dean was part of the academic team. And this was surprising because if you remember from the flow chart, the dean's office was responsible for notifying the faculty when a student athlete was injured or ill. This information made it very clear that faculty do not know who is responsible for injury or illness notification. Faculty were then asked to select the individuals that they would most likely contact about a student's academics after a concussion. The results of this question reveal that either the faculty do not understand the question or they truly have no idea who should be contacted if they have a question regarding a student athlete's academics. 40% of faculty replied that they would contact the team physician, 20% said that they would contact a student's family physician, and 14% said they would contact the parent. It is unclear from the question if the faculty answered where they thought they should ask for information or if they actually tried to get information from the individuals selected. Overall, faculty felt that physicians, athletic trainers, school nurses, academic advisors, coaches, department chairs, and the dean all have a role in providing academic adjustments for students returning to the classroom. Faculty agreed that they play the most important role in providing academic adjustments, followed by the team physician, the athletic trainer, the school nurse. Interestingly, faculty perceived that the coach played a more important role for academic adjustments over an academic advisor, a department chair, or the dean. 100% of faculty reported that concussion can affect academic performance, and these findings are consistent within the literature. 89% of faculty believe that students with concussion are eligible for special considerations under the Americans with Disability Act. And 98% of faculty believe that academic integrity can be maintained in the presence of academic adjustments for students returning to the classroom. Although faculty believe that they play a major role in academic adjustments, the results indicate that most were minimally familiar, 43%, and moderately familiar, 36%, with academic adjustments for students. Faculty were asked if they would recommend academic adjustments following a concussion, and 45% replied always or almost always, 15% reported often, 8% reported sometimes, and 32% reported rarely or never. 60% of faculty indicated that they have previously received information about students with a concussion. 40% of faculty stated that they never received information or were not sure if they received information when a student in their class had a concussion. Most faculty were unaware of the point person in charge of managing academic adjustments, and 44% responded that the athletic trainer was responsible, 13% responded the dean or they didn't know, and the remainder of persons listed had minimal respondents selected. These results indicate a further disconnect in the institutional communication. Following the results of the survey and the problems recognized in the cause and effect diagram, I identified that faculty lacked overall basic knowledge on concussion and academic adjustments and a problem with communication at the institution. From there, I developed my second PDSA cycle. The plan was to put together a single concussion education presentation and brochure to present to the faculty that included information on basic concussion knowledge, appropriate academic adjustments, the personnel involved in the multidisciplinary concussion management team, and the 8 stages of return to learn policy for the institution. Before the educational presentation and brochure were presented to the faculty, several tasks had to be completed that are worth mentioning. First was the approval and formation of the concussion management team. Following this approval, the current concussion management plan was assessed and revised using the recommendations of the NCAA Inter-Association Consensus for Diagnosis and Management of Sports-Related Concussion Best Practices. This revision included small group meetings over the course of the summer with the athletic training staff to revise the entire plan. At the end of July, the new concussion management plan was presented to the team medical director, the athletic trainers, coaches, and student athletes on campus for their fall preseason sports. In addition, the plan included an 8-stage or stepwise approach to returning the student to the classroom. In this stepwise approach, the student reports to the concussion management team following an injury and is cognitively assessed to determine the stage at which the student will return to the classroom. The faculty are then notified with a concussion awareness and academic adjustment letter. Regular meetings with the student were set with the concussion management team until that student is discharged with no academic adjustments needed. The educational brochure was developed over the summer and was presented to the faculty, the athletic department, the athletic trainers, the team physicians, and the members of the concussion management team, as well as the student athletes. Copies of the brochure were printed and electronically available to all parties. This brochure is also provided to any student athlete who sustains a concussion and reports to the concussion management team. On August 16, 2018, all faculty at the institution were presented the concussion education. During the presentation, the concussion management team was introduced, and the 8-stage return to learn policy was revised stage by stage, and faculty had the opportunity to ask questions. Finally, the concussion acknowledgement and academic adjustment forms were reviewed. Once the presentation was complete, faculty had some time to review the information and apply the concussion management plan if they had students in one or more of their classes that sustained a concussion. From September 25, 2018 through October 12, 2018, faculty completed a post-survey to evaluate the effectiveness of the educational presentation and brochure. 24 faculty completed the survey for a 15% response rate. The results of the post-survey showed that faculty knowledge of symptoms improved in 11 of 22 symptoms. Symptoms related to behavior and emotions conveyed the greatest improvement of all symptoms. The red lines on the slide indicate significant areas of improvement from the baseline study. Faculty felt their overall knowledge and confidence about concussion improved. The greatest areas of improvement was noted in understanding and recognition and application of academic adjustments. When asked how often the care of concussed students at the school was discussed between the faculty and the concussion management team, 65% of faculty reported always, 23% almost always, and 27% often. This indicates a 33% increase in understanding from the baseline measure. Communication improved between the faculty and the concussion management team. 77% of faculty indicated that they received information on injured or ill students more often in the post-survey, resulting in a 41% increase in communication. Familiarity with academic adjustments also improved. Individual baseline results indicated that 9% of faculty were not familiar, 43% were minimally familiar, and 36% were moderately familiar, and 11% were extremely familiar with academic adjustments. However, with the post-survey, all faculty were either moderately or extremely familiar with academic adjustments, improving this area significantly. There was a 10% increase of faculty who recognized the institution has an academic support team. Faculty were also more likely to recommend academic adjustments to students after the educational presentation. At baseline, 33% of faculty responded they rarely or never recommended academic adjustments. However, in the post-survey, all faculty responded that they always, almost always, or often recommend academic adjustments. There continues to be a variety of responses in the post-survey when faculty were asked who is involved in the academic support team. However, 100% of faculty surveyed recognized that the concussion management team was part of the academic support team. Some of the weakest areas of recognition were the nurse, the team physician, teachers, and disability services. Faculty still do not fully know who the point person is for management of academic adjustments. Percentages on the baseline and post-survey improved by 8%, only raising the score to 52%. This is an area that indicates further education and growth. An additional PDSA cycle was developed to further assess the project. This included an in-person interview with 8 faculty members that have had a student return to the classroom this semester following a sports-related concussion. There were 18 sports-related concussions this fall that impacted 28 faculty members during the time of the interview was conducted. The plan was to develop a semi-structured face-to-face interview to assess the faculty members' comfort and satisfaction with the educational presentation, concussion awareness brochure, the concussion management team, and the 8 stages of return to learn policy. A total of 8 faculty members participated in the interview. 4 underlying themes were found. Knowledge was gained, communication improved, and barriers still exist when applying academic adjustments, and suggestions for improvements were voiced. Overall, the faculty were pleased with the presentation and brochure. They were more comfortable with making decisions in the classroom when one or more students returned following a sports-related concussion. The educational presentation made them more aware of the symptoms a student could experience in the classroom and their role as a faculty member with students in academic adjustments. All faculty agreed that communication among faculty, the concussion management team, and students had increased this year. Faculty felt that students were being more proactive with their professors, and notification of injury was being emailed within 24 hours of injury. Faculty were more aware of student injury and recognized the need to provide these academic adjustments. However, they were not confident about academic adjustments with all courses they teach and would like to see more information related to return to learn. Half of the faculty interviewed found at least one barrier to implementing academic adjustments in the classroom this year when a student returned. Courses that were not traditional lecture formats, such as science labs, discussion classes, activity classes, and their online classes, provided the biggest challenge in providing academic adjustments. Additional time during the class period or during office hours to provide extra assistance to the student was also noted as a barrier. Faculty agreed the educational presentation and brochure was a great first step to student success in return to learn. However, the majority of faculty interviewed agreed it would be beneficial to have some sort of faculty resource page online that they could refer back to. There were several lessons and limitations learned during this project. To name a few, the institution underwent tremendous amount of change. The timing of the survey release and the timing of the concussion education presentation. During the 40 weeks of this project, there were several changes on campus that limited the success of this project. To name a few, the institution inaugurated a new president in January 2018. The president began with an institutional mission to make effective changes in his first 100 days at Limestone. There were over 20 task forces put together to assess all aspects of the institution. From these task forces, there were assignments, projects, and surveys that faculty were charged with fulfilling. One lesson that I learned was that the timing of the survey is extremely important to have a good response rate from the faculty. Unfortunately, the baseline survey was available to the faculty at a time when several other surveys from the Presidential Task Force were also circulating. Because of the timing of my DAT course and with summer quickly approaching, this was the best option to be able to get to assess the results over the summer break. At the same time, the head football coach resigned and took a new position with the Chicago Bears. This initiated a new football coaching staff, and by February, the new staff was hired. The new coach increased the number of contact days and training hours that increased football injuries across the board, including concussion. In the fall 2018, acrobatics and tumbling was added as the 27th sport at Limestone College. This addition brought an entire team of freshmen on campus with a history of dance and gymnastics injuries, and there were a significant number of concussions reported in the fall from this sport. Another challenge during this project was collecting data from the athletic medical records. During the 2017-18 academic year, the athletic training department was transitioning from paper files and an old sportswear system to the next software system. As I tried to collect data from the previous year, I realized that the majority of athletic training staff had not put any information on the students into sportswear and that the paper files were unorganized and missing information. There was limited concussion data from the previous year to compare with the numbers of concussions reported from August to October this year. So continuing this project for a longer period of time would provide a better assessment of change. Another limitation was the timing of the concussion education presentation to the faculty. Since the faculty don't report back to campus until the first faculty meeting in August, there was not a good time to meet face to face with all of the members of the concussion management team or to present the education material to the faculty until all fall sports had already started their seasons. Therefore, there were already student athletes with concussions before the faculty were educated about the new concussion management plan or the 8 stages of return to learn. This quality improvement initiative was intended to assess the general information related to faculty knowledge to improve the student success in the classroom. Therefore, the information collected and tracking of data was limited just to the faculty. A more comprehensive assessment may help to assess barriers from student athletes, coaches, athletic trainers, and team physicians could provide additional improvement to the return to learn at my institution. Overall, this project has been a success. On a small scale, I have learned that the faculty do want to be educated on concussion and academic adjustments. I have also learned that education has increased awareness, interest, and communication. I have learned that faculty are more knowledgeable and confident with students in their classes, and I am excited to continue this project and share my knowledge with other faculty athletic representatives in my conference and others in the profession to help develop a better return to learn plan at the university level. Thank you for taking the time to watch this presentation. This is the last piece to my education. Congratulations to all of you who are graduating as well, and for those of you who are just starting this process, I wish you good luck. Again, thank you to Dr. McLeod for your continued support through this project. Have a great day.